Yo, what's going on, guys? My name is McDuck33 and welcome back to another Far Cry video. Yeah, it's basically like the last two Far Cry videos I've done. We're just gonna look at Far Cry 3 and see if it holds up in 2021. Yeah, I hope you guys enjoy, and yeah, let's get right into it. So, quick disclaimer, this is my opinion. Specifically my opinion. If you guys have a different opinion, then by all means put it in the chat. Not the chat. The comments. So, like last time, I'm doing this unscripted. Hooray! So, this is gonna be fun. I am using my Far Cry 5 script as a reference, though. So, without further ado, let's get right into it. So, gonna have four main categories: combat, story, open world, and graphics. So we're going to start with combat. So combat in this game is pretty much just your average shooter. Aim, point, shoot. Enemies, there's a lot of enemy variation. I've noticed that. You saw me take out my camera not too long ago, and you saw the little things at the top. That shows all the enemies, but there's even more. So, dudes with skulls are separated into two categories. There's like the weak soldiers, and then the normal soldiers, or the heavy soldiers, as I like to call them. Those guys are, I think one has more health than the other, maybe. I'm not really sure what the difference is between the two. I just know that they look different. And then there's two types of, as the game calls them, chargers. Actually, there's three types. There's the shotgun people, which is pretty self-explanatory. They kind of just run at you with a shotgun. There's the knife people, which, well, they kind of just run at you with a knife. And then there's the, what's it called? The, can't think, Molotov people. I hate the Molotov people. They throw Molotovs at you, and they do big damage, because it A, allows you not to heal, because you have to do that little prompt to put out the fire, and B, it just does lots of damage. So least favorite people in the game, if you play this game, it's probably your least favorite as well. There's also the heavies, which are set into two different groups. There's the normal heavy with the LMG, who you're going to encounter more often than the other type, which is the flamer. They have flamethrowers and also set you on fire. So I guess you can consider those to be the hardest enemies in the game. I just hate the Molotov guys because you encounter them way earlier. Let's see. What else am I missing? Oh, the snipers. Yeah, the snipers have two categories. There's the RPG snipers, which, never really had a problem with them. And then there's the snipers, which are really, really annoying. If you're ever taking out an outpost, which, if you don't know what those are, then I'll get to that in a sec. If you're taking out an outpost, then it's really, really annoying to just be spotted by a random sniper on a building, because they can spot you real quick. Like, real quick. So, yeah. Your health, this is kind of a trope in the Far Cry series. You feel human. It's a very realistic game. You feel human. And, yeah. Let's see, what else is there in combat? Enemies will say really funny stuff. That's not really combat, but they'll say some really, really funny stuff. They'll start screaming if they're the last one alive, which I think is really funny. Unlike other games where you have a pistol-specific slot in this game, you don't, actually. You have, like 4 weapon slots, and you can put anything in there. So theoretically, you could have 0 pistols. I mean, granted, I like to use a pistol, but still. Let's see. The health, I mentioned it briefly, but the health is not, like, it's different from the other games. You can, at the start of the game, you don't really get a whole lot of health. Obviously, it's the start of the game. You get more through skills on the skill tree, which you'll see me access later. So that's how you get more health, just in general. And then healing, if at any time you can, and you have no medicine. If you have no medicine, it'll do a short little animation where you either like get a knife and gouge the bullet out of your arm, or wrap it in duct tape, or relocate your thumb, or whatever. That will heal, I think it's 2 health slots. That might be upgraded by skills though, I'm not sure. I don't really use that much, because then there's syringes, which are medicine. And syringes are crafted using plants, which are literally all over the islands. Green plants are what you use to make healing syringes, which is the best. As you can see down in the bottom left, that little health, that's the yellow stuff is my health, and the little medkit symbol is, well, obviously my healing. So yeah, let's see. That pretty much does it for combat. There's not really much to go on. You can add silencers to a couple of weapons. I've noticed that not a lot of weapons support silencers. Which, I mean, I don't mind that, but at the same time it's really annoying because it's hard to be stealthy. Which is one of the reasons why I really like the MS-16, the rifle that I use. It's really good, so if you get a chance, you go check it out. This is me accessing the skills tree. So you can see there those little health things. That is how you upgrade your health and get more health. So yeah, next up is story. So in the story for Far Cry 3, you play as Jason Brody, who I think is like 21 or something. He's young adult. And you and your friends and your 2 brothers go skydiving in the Rook Islands, where your friend told you that you can do anything. So, there's pirates there, and yeah, they want to sell you into slavery. And leading those pirates is the best, and I mean the best, Far Cry villain to ever exist, in the form of Vaas Montenegro. If you watch any of his scenes in this game, they are beautiful. He has this crazed sense, but knows that he's crazy, and then admits that he's not crazy. He has one of the most famous video game lines ever, in the definition of insanity. Obviously, I've already passed that since I killed him. But, yeah, if you get a chance, if you play this game, just progress the story. You'll find it eventually. And if you don't own the game, you should, because it's amazing. Let's see. You find out later that there's a leader of Vaas called Hoyt, and that's where you go to the second island. Yeah, there's not really much to say about the story. It's pretty much a linear story, which does limit its replayability, because, I mean, then you're kind of just doing the same missions over and over again. There's no skip cutscene, which is really annoying. Let's see, what else? Yeah, it's kind of just a linear story. You just do missions, and missions give you more guns to unlock. You'll see up at the top left, it'll say, I think it's like 6 new items are now purchasable at stores. So yeah. Yeah, 8 new weapons are now available to buy over on the right. So that's kind of it for a story. It's a really self-explanatory story. There's really not much to say without spoiling it, which I obviously don't want to do because it's a pretty good story. So yeah, throughout the story you pretty much rescue your friends one by one, and the intro, I want to quickly talk about the intro. The intro is the most intense intro ever. Like, y'all thought Far Cry 5's intro was intense with the whole helicopter crash and then Joseph singing Amazing Grace. Yeah. No. Voss makes a heck a good intro. His intro is crazy good. Go watch it on YouTube or play it for yourself. Alright, next up is Open World. Alright, Open World is really the main focus of this game. It is a really great open world. Open world / side content is honestly what I spent the first, I'd say 6 hours of this game doing. I currently have, let's check on Steam, 12.4 hours on this game, and I'd say the first half was doing side content. Outposts are really your main focus of side content. Outposts are really fun. They support a good balance of going ham on enemies and being stealthy. Because if you take out the alarms, then you get a nice 500 XP. And then if you do it undetected, then you get like 1500, which is nice, but honestly, it's, I don't know. I just feel like, one of my biggest issues with 5 is I kind of felt like I had to do the outposts undetected, because there weren't really many other good money sources, other than, like, side missions, but that was pretty much just Clutch Nixon and the occasional one at an outpost. Whereas this, there's so many more money sources and XP sources that I don't really feel like I need to do it undetected. And it's honestly a lot more fun if you just take out the alarms with a silenced weapon and then just go ham on everybody. Except the heavies. You're going to want to take out the heavies with a heavy attack if you have that perk. Very useful. You'll see it right about now. It's super useful for taking out heavies, because heavies are honestly just kind of a pain to deal with. They have tons of health, do lots of damage. Their knockdown attack does tons of damage. I hate that knockdown attack. So yeah, that's pretty much alarms. Not alarms, outposts. I'm doing one right now. They're everywhere, and they unlock a fast travel point, which is super useful. And let's see. More on open world. Bell towers. Bell towers, I think, are a cool idea, but I've never really liked the idea of having to go to a bell tower, or a bell tower, activate it, and then reveal the map. I think they're cool because they give free items. They unlock items to be free in the store, but I just never really felt that they were useful, I guess. They're pretty much just a high point in a Ubisoft game. You know them from literally so many other sources. They're in AC, they're in, let's see, Far Cry 4, they're in Watch Dogs, I believe. It's a high point in a Ubisoft game. That's pretty much just what it is. Let's see. What else is there in open world? Oh, yeah. there's tons of missions, tons of side missions. Like I was saying, the first 6 hours of me playing this game was spent doing side missions. There's 3, I think, types of side missions. There's the supply drops, which are kind of stressful. You might see me do one at the very end, maybe, not sure. But you have to get to a certain point, or you have to. It's like the Clutch Nixon missions in Far Cry 4, not 5. It's like the Clutch Nixon missions in 5, where you just have to get to a bunch of checkpoints with a package, and then you basically get your XP and your money. That's pretty much what it is. They're really stressful because some of them you don't get a whole lot of time to actually get there. Like, I think the one that I do later is like 25 seconds. Maybe even, I think it's a bit more. But it's not long, which is super stressful because me personally, I suck at driving. I am not good at driving at all. So the fact that I'm timed now is just yikes. I don't like the fact that I'm timed. It's real stressful. And yeah. So then there's Animal Hunts or Path of the Warrior, which those are Path of the Warrior. You have to kill like a specific number of animals with a specific weapon. And then there's Rare Hunts, which you hunt a legendary variant of that animal, and you have to use a specific weapon. So I've done shotgun and bows. Those are the most common ones. Let's see. What else? Then there's also assassination contracts. Nope, that's AC. Wanted contracts. That's this game. You have to go to a specific location and you have to go to a specific location and kill a certain enemy with the knife or a takedown. So you have to get in close. You can be detected, so unlike Far Cry 4, where you can't be detected at all, then yeah, it's I don't know. They're fun, and they add an element of stealth into the game that, I mean, only Outposts really have. You'll see me do one right in a sec, because there's one on the bounty board, and I'm pretty sure that's really all that's in open world. It's pretty self-explanatory. I think there's, there's like Trials of the Rakyat. I've never really done one of those, but from what I've heard, you kind of just go around killing pirates in a certain amount of time. Not really sure how they work, though. Again, never really done them. So, as you can see, I just accepted that quest, and yeah. Open world is pretty self-explanatory. It's an open world game. There's not really any events that can happen, like world events, where I think in Far Cry 4 there were like random hostages that would be taken, and you could, as you were driving, you could just like save them and then continue on your way. In 5 there was obviously like the drug trucks and the what's it called? The drug trucks and the roadblocks and stuff like that. Whereas in this game, there's no world events like that. The only thing that there is really just enemies. Let's see. Last is graphics. So, graphics is actually a really interesting concept in this game. They're by no means Far Cry 2 bad. They're actually pretty good, but they're not very I don't know, realistic. They look actually really nice. The weird thing is they kind of have this cell shade to them, which I think is kind of weird. But I also think it's kind of cool. Because it doesn't make the world look too bad. I think the world looks really nice, especially with how green it is. Some of you know that I love the color green. And yeah, I love how green this game is. It's just overly green, honestly. Alright, I need to get away from green. Let's see, what else is there? The jungle setting, I'm a master of driving through the forest, as I put it. You can't really do that in this game, and I'm very saddened by that, because driving through there's a lot more hills in this game than there are in 5, and the vehicles have less horsepower, I guess. I guess you could call them horsepower, or call it horsepower. Yeah. So you can't really drive through the forest. There's a lot more rivers, so I've literally launched myself off of a hill and gone straight into a river before. So yeah, that pretty much sums up the open world of this game. It's really fun. I love the open world in this game. Let's see. Oh yeah, we were talking about graphics. Wow. So much for following the script, kind of Far Cry 5. Yeah. The graphics are, again, like I said, very green. I like how jungly it is. There's a lot of very lush vegetation on Voss's Island, which is really the main island, if you will. Then that is very biodiverse, kind of. There's a lot of animals, which make it feel alive, but there's also a lot of like different ecosystems, kind of. I'm not a big science nerd, so I don't really know. Yeah, I don't really know all the sciencey terms, but there's like bamboo forest places. There's nice open lakes. There's like very thick jungles. It's pretty cool. On Hoyt's Island, which is the island that I'm currently on, you'll see that it's very open. And I think this is to promote the use of the wingsuit, which you get. You saw me use it at the very, very beginning of the video. I'm pretty sure it's to promote the use of that, because you're given that, and then you're just kind of like, okay, I mean, I guess. And, yeah. It's a cool feature, and I like it. I just think that it doesn't look as nice as Voss's Island. It kind of reminds me of Hawaii, because I went there a couple years ago, and Oahu, in the southern part of Oahu, I believe. I could be wrong, it's been a while. The non-city parts of Oahu. It is very, very, very jungly, kind of like the first island. I went on a hike there, and it was just complete lush. I don't want to say jungle, but it was very thick forest, like tropical forest kind of stuff. Whereas Maui was less so. It was more like Hoyt's Island, where it did feel like you were in a tropical setting, but it didn't have that sort of like thick vegetation feel, that like jungly feel, which, gonna be honest, kind of disappointed me. But then again, beaches are cool. Yeah, I might have already mentioned this, but there's kind of a cell shade to the graphics. It's like a realistic cell shade, which is kind of an interesting take on graphics. and it's by no means a bad thing. I honestly really like it. I think it's kind of cool. Let's see, what else is there? Yeah, I think that's kind of it. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, be sure to leave a like. If you guys really enjoyed, be sure to subscribe. Yeah, I'm gonna be sure to follow me on Twitch. I'm gonna start my first stream tomorrow, so come watch the blooper reel. And yeah, without further ado, I will catch you guys in the next one.